Greetings. I'm Horologist Is. On the behalf of myself and KTL University, we would like to invite you for our online Zoom class, March the 27th, 11 o'clock, 2022. We will present the power of precious metals, where you will have the opportunity to learn the concept of building wealth with gold, silver, platinum, palladium, and rhodium. You will also learn the foundation of the abundantness of these metals through the health benefits, the wealth benefits, and the spirituality benefits. For every 20th person that signs up for this class, you receive this beautiful silver 925 sterling silver pendant that is featured on the front of the book, I Am Rich. The spaces are limited, so act now. Greetings, family. Inkaru Watch Company would like to present Enter the Win, this Inkaru timepiece, the Heru collection, hand painted on a pure silver dial, 42 millimeter stainless steel case, and a Swiss 17 jewel mechanical 2.5 delta waves movement. The 100 person that sign up for our online Zoom class, The Power of Precious Metals, sponsored by KTL University and Inkaru, will win this beautiful timepiece. Again, the 100 person that sign up for our class, The Power of Precious Metals, will win this beautiful timepiece. Internet.
Yes, indeed, family. Make sure y'all tap into the link that is in the description. All right, the link in the description in order for you to get your tickets for this upcoming workshop Sunday, March 27th at the hours of 11 a.m. Eastern time. Good luck to the 100th ticket holder. You will definitely be winning a $7,500 timepiece. As you can see in the video, it has Heru on it, and it is beautiful. Yes, indeed.
To this day.
Without any further ado, I want to welcome you to another episode of Melanin Monday. This is episode 188 featuring your good brother Red Pillar. Yes, indeed. We are in the building. Back in the building like we never left. I'm doing an early show tonight, of course. There's a lot of things that I need to handle in the evening. So we're going to get this done while the sun is out. Shout out to everybody that is coming in from the 9 to 5, tapping in from your long day. If you're an entrepreneur, you know, you might just be winding it down or you might just be getting started and whatnot. Salute to everybody, even if those who are watching this on a replay. Salute. Happy New Year. Okay. Happy New Year. Spring is here. Alexa, play Bismarcky.
To this day.
You know what I'm talking about?
To this day.
Beautiful day. The sun is out. The birds are singing. There's a lot of insect activity and whatnot. The sun is out there shining. That vitamin D. The ground is waiting for you to put your bare feet on it so it can send some electrons through your body. It can charge you. It can raise your voltage. It could do what it needs to do. It could lift you up. All right. So with that being said, I want to do roll call. There's enough people in the building and whatnot. We'll wait for the rest of the people to file in and whatnot. But for right now, in the meantime, between time, we could do the roll call. Shout out to Queen Offset in the building. I see you. All right. Let's see who's in the building. Let's see where we tapping in from. I'm gonna need all of y'all that's in the building to give me a location and whatnot so we could give you a shout out. All right, Northwest Georgia, what's happening? Salute to Northwest Georgia. Where exactly is Northwest Georgia? Just give me a little understanding. Where exactly is that? So I know I'll be specific with the locations. Kings County in the building. You already know what it is. Shout out to Kings County. Houston in the building, Knoxville in the building, Tennessee. All right. That way, the north, that way. That's where the Migos is from, right? That way. All right. East Flatbush in the building. Okay, I see the family. First we got Kings County, then we got East Flatbush. We keeping this shit New York tonight. What we doing? We keeping this BK. What we getting into? Virgin Islands, St. Croix, the Mondale. That's the homeland right there. Salute to St. Croix. You feel me? We're gonna see y'all very soon. I'm planning on going to the Virgin Islands very, very soon. Queens in the building, South Jersey, Memphis, Portland was popping. The Cooler, wherever that is, Rome, Cartersville area. That's where the Mounds. That's where Edouard Mounds is at. Salute to y'all. Greenwood, South Carolina, Bed-Stuy up in this thing, BK in the building, Swats, H-Town, okay. Oaktown up in this thing, BX is up in this thing, Sacramento is up in this thing. What's goody, Sacramento? Harlem, DC, okay. Three Coast, Texas. So you on the coast of Texarkana? You on the coast of what? What specifically? Riddle me that. What's the coast? What's the three coast about? PG, Maryland. What's popping? North Carolina, Burlington, DC, Southeast, popping. What's goody, DC? What's good with your DC? Spinning. And for all of my, I'm connecting the dots. You know what I'm saying? Like if you see somebody that's in your state, we don't promote troll activity, nor do we promote stalkers and shit. But you could reach out to that person and be like, "What's popping? Like, what's really good? How you doing? I see that you're on Melanin Monday. Great minds think alike. You're in my town. You want to start a study group? You want to get a part of the book club? You know what I mean? You want to meet up on the weekends and go over certain notes. You want to start a watch party? This is some of the things that you can do with your alikes. I encourage socialism. Well, not socialism. I encourage people being social. I know some of us are very introverted, withdrawn. We don't like people and shit like that. Understood. You know what I mean? Some people are drawn more to their pets. They're more loyal and shit. Understood as well. Some people feel real, cringeworthy when it comes to meeting total strangers. And you're like, I don't know if I could relate to somebody if they just in a chat room. That's why I say this, right? And I understand fully by what you mean, because this is a crazy world that we live in. Henceforth, why we started the Discord. Henceforth, why we say leave your emails with us, because we'll put you on a mailing list. We'll also send you the link to become a Discord member, because at least in a Discord, you get to verbalize, because we have audio rooms, we have visual rooms, we have a lot of meetings on there. Everything is not done on the main page. There's a lot of things that are done like on the side and whatnot, but there's always active. There's always something going on in there. Shout out to Comedic Nation. Both of those servers are connected. That's Now Meta, and with us, Know the Ledger, that's the Netaverse. So even with that, I would say fill people out, probably join the Discord, get to know people, get to read their energy, be very intuitive about energy. One of the main ways that you could tell how a person gets down is by doing business with them. That's a way that you can test the waters, or you could take somebody's temperature, because on a regular waking day, the mask that individuals wear, I mean, come on now. You can't necessarily tell who is who based off of the face that they give you. It's only under certain situations. That's why they say, even in business, you should go and eat with that person and take their ass to the bar. You know what I mean? Like, see how they work in those type of social settings, right? That's why you see business deals done over dinner. You get a chance to go to places like China and whatnot. They are very family orientated. They're not just going to sit around and talk business with you. They're going to groom you first. You're going to have to eat dinner. They're going to ask you about family members. They're going to want to see family pictures and whatnot. They might even invite you to eat with their family. So, you get to know, you get to bond with people doing labor with them, like on a workforce, right? I remember working construction and shit. And I was on, this was like 2014. I was doing YouTube or Blog Talk or one of those. But I was reporting back to what it is that I was witnessing and whatnot. And I was like, look, I'm on a workforce. Even though somebody dropped a huge brick on my helmet from like 3 stories above and shit, it was like an open, we were doing demolition. The roof already got torn off and whatnot. So the whole roof was open. I was in what was like the basement. Somebody dropped a cinder block on my head. If I didn't have my helmet on, my geniuses, I would be talking to you right now looking like Max Headroom or something. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I would be like, it wouldn't be a nice, it wouldn't be nice. You know what I'm saying? My camera probably would be off. But working on that workforce with different people from different nationalities, it helped me bond with those people who at first were complete strangers on the workforce. But once you get into labor with a person, after a while, you draw some type of bond with these people. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I wasn't standoffish and shit like that. I wasn't on no fake ass, you know, we eating over here. Yeah, the Puerto Ricans eat by themselves. You know, we were kind of like blending and whatnot. People were just building and shit. You know what I mean? We wasn't keeping it real awkward. At first it was like that. Then that shit started to melt away. You know, people passing cigarettes. I don't smoke cigarettes, but other workers is exchanging stogies and whatnot. You know what I mean? They talking shit while they eating and everything. So, you know, labor is a good way. Sitting down and breaking bread with a person is a good way, right? And being in social places like a club, a lounge, a bar, you know, you might be doing a business deal with somebody. This nigga's a fucking psycho. You know what I'm talking about? And that shit comes out after one Casamigo. So those are just some tips. Those are just some tips. You used to do demo, that is rough work. Yo, I was busting my ass. Pause. Like, I was going Super Saiyan hard, just working and shit. And I'm like, yo, I'm doing a lot of wear and tear. Like, I could feel, you know, I'm carrying heavy ass log. I'm tearing the roof off. I'm pulling up a whole roof, my genius. And this is not a residential house. This was like an office building. I was working my ass off, and I'm like, yo, they was paying me like 20 something dollars an hour, but that wasn't even enough. Cause I said to myself, I'm not 20 something years old. If I pull something right now, it's a done dada for me forever. You know what I'm talking about? Like, this shit, it's a done dada. Like, I'm gonna be on disability for life. It wasn't worth it. I had to double back, you know what I mean? I think after I got my first paycheck, I looked at that shit and I was like, yeah, I'm never coming back here because the sweat equity don't add up to these peanuts. You know? They had me with a harness on the roof. I walked, the fucking plank fell out. I'm dangling and shit. I'm like, come on now. I'm out here looking like a stunt man and they paying me how much? While the foreman, he was like an Italian dude or Irish, whatever. This nigga's just sitting around on the internet, just looking all, you know what I mean, flabby and sick and whatnot. He ain't doing nothing. And I know he getting $60 an hour. Like, I want that job. You know what I'm talking about? I want that job. Shit. You know, we need more black people, melanated, whatever the fuck you want to call it, in positions of power in the construction industry, because that shit is, you know, we at the bottom. They got us at the bottom. Niggas is only doing demo and whatnot. You be fucking lucky if you see a black man, a melanated man, a carpenter doing the electric work and things. They be having us mixing the cement, pouring that shit, and doing the mundane fucking duties, bro. Real talk. We haven't doing us the mundane shit. And I'm like, in the 2020s, like, this was back in 2014, but shit, I'll be damned if when I'm in New York and I get up around 5 a.m., or I might be coming home at 5 a.m., the whole train is packed with a bunch of niggas looking like they just came home doing construction. You know? You a construction manager. How much? I ain't gonna ask you how much they pay you, but is it over 40? I just want to know. Is it over 40 bill? Is it over 40? You know? So, what I want to say is, first and foremost, salute to all of the students who pulled up this weekend. Oh my goodness. I couldn't forget y'all who pulled up this weekend for the Soulmatic and the Illest to Bring the Static lecture featuring me and our good brother, Alkebalon, the motherfucking Don, Alkebalon 44, right? Now, I remember specifically asking you people in the audience, right? I remember asking the students for a testimonial video. Their niggas sent me a video yet. And I even was like, yo, I'm going to give y'all 25% off the next lecture. I guess y'all just be busy with life and whatnot. And I'm not mad at you. However, you know, I do want to show appreciation to my special guests, right? And I also want to show other people who may not be, who probably didn't even know about it. I want them to know what they missed out on and shit like that. It's important to keep those receipts. So if anybody in the chat room was in class, please let me know by way of emojis, how was the class? How was the level of information? Like, let me share something to you, right? Let me share something with you real quick. They often say, you don't want to be the smartest person in the room. They like, yo, if you the smartest person in the room, you in the wrong room. And in some ways, I totally agree with that. I never want to be the smartest person in the room. However, when I open up my motherfucking mouth, whenever room that I'm in, if I'm in a room of knuckle draggers, or if I'm in a room when I'm not the smartest person, right? I need to be able to attract the smartest persons in the room when I open my mouth, because I know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's important. That's tantamount. You want to be able to at least catch the attention of some of the smartest people in the room, because smart people know if you are on their level by the first few words that come out of your motherfucking mouth. And ever so often, in not just the community, but because we lived in a culture and we live in a society where you get rewarded for being dumbed down, a lot of things that come out of a lot of people's mouths don't make motherfucking smart people's heads swivel. They could keep their backs turned to you because they like, I'm not even looking this buffoon ass nigga in his face.
To this day. To this day.
So the lexicon, the etymon, right? The words that our good brother Alkebalon is talking about, the way that he's conveying his message, the scientific level in which he delivers his message, the high value that he is adding to this community with his research, it has to be gotta be rewarded. You're not playing these games, y'all. This is not 1985. This is 2022. We gotta be able to reward the scholars that are amongst us, the geniuses that are amongst us. Kanye West is not the only fucking genius up in this thing. You understand? The majority of the people that I know in my life, and I know a lot of people, and the majority of the people that I know, all of them is geniuses.
To this day.
All of them.
To this day.
That's a fact. I detoxed from dumb niggas a long time ago. I detoxed from knuckle draggers. I don't even be remembering their name when I be seeing niggas like, wait, what's your name again? I done detox. They done got deleted from my files and whatnot. I've attracted a lot of very highly intelligent human beings and sentient light beings into my inner circles and whatnot. So I'm here to say that, and I spoke about this when we were in class, when we were in the lecture and on the Zoom and whatnot. And I was like, by show of hands, how many people want to tap in with the brother, with the God body, Al Kibalon, at least once a month, if not twice a month? Right off of KTL University, we could run this shit like a university. We're going to wind up doing classes, because information like this is not just, you could just get this once every 2 months, 3 months, and then you out there eating processed food, right? The equivalent of eating processed food with this consciousness is that shit that you get off of a lot of these YouTube channels. That's the equivalent of GMO, processed, and fast food, microwavable shit. Don't really have too much merit. A lot of shit is gossip, chatty pattiness, pseudosciences, and very low frequency vibrations and whatnot. One of the main channels that I could say is keeping the vibrations high is Black Magic 363 with Father Rich. You feel me? It's a lot of low level conversations. So we promote high level conversations to raise the overall frequency and to raise the motherfucking bar in this network or this community, whatever you want to call it. So when we find some of those scholars, what do? We put them on a pedestal and we edify them. We give them their flowers in real time. We encourage them. We don't promote starving artists. We don't promote struggle. We don't promote poverty consciousness. All of that shit is out the window, bro. So that's what we here to do. So you will be hearing a lot more from the Don Al Kibalon. You know what I mean? The next color is orange. Make sure y'all look out for that color. He called it. And sure enough, about 4 rappers popped up wearing orange the next day. You know what I mean? Son is on point. He's tapped the fuck in. I don't know how much more he has to show you how tapped in he is for people who are so what would I call it? Doubtful. You know what I mean? They're so doubtful. They're so finicky and whatnot. They don't trust anything, even when it's being shown to them, because they so used to getting got by the charlatans and by people who could just talk a good one. But what about the motherfuckers that could show you a good one? This is the year of experience. Yeah, a lot of niggas could talk a good one. But what about those that demonstrate? They doing galactical shit that you can't just, this shit can't be manipulated with Photoshop. It can't be manipulated when somebody is calling out a certain color because they're tapped into the motherfucking download, and then that color starts popping up when that color wasn't really out there like that. And I'm talking about on major platforms where there's 5 million, 10 million, 40 million followers. Come on. That's just one example. I'm not even going to exhaust myself, because it's like, once again, I'm not trying to sell nobody to anyone. If you don't get it, that's not on me. That's on you. You go to YouTube, go to Google, go to Facebook, go to TikTok, go to Instagram. Find that shit that he's talking about and bring it back to me. Find it. Go and find it. Matter of fact, I got a rack for you niggas who could find it and bring it back. Go and find what KT the Arch Degree is talking about. Go and Google it. Go and find it on YouTube. Go and find it on Facebook. Go and find it on the socials, my geniuses. Go to Barnes & Noble. Bring that shit back to me, and I got some money for you. You want to get a quick buck, my nigga? Go find that shit. But I promise you, I'm standing here confidently, you'll never find it. You'll never find no shit like that. You're not going to find it in the books. You're not going to find it online. You're not going to find it on no European motherfucking channels and whatnot. You're just not going to find it. You're just not going to find it. Shout out to KT the Arch Degree. He just released his video called Moss. It's on his YouTube channel, Moss, M-O-S-S. That shit is fire. Video is fire. Good scenery. You know what I mean? Not safe for work, though. Good scenery. He juxtaposed some eye candy on top of his message. That's what they say, feed the baby steak through medicine, right? Or that's what they say. They say they feed the baby steak through the medicine or whatever. No, they feed the baby's medicine through steak. Or I don't know. It's, you know what I'm talking about though. You know what I'm talking about. They mixing it up. You know what I mean? The God is mixing things up and the shit is fire. You know what I mean? So shout out to my younger brother KT for his demonstration and what he's doing and whatnot. I really appreciate the his growth and development, not only as an artist, but as a leader, as a teacher, as a master fucking teacher, right? What are the qualities to become a master teacher? I would like to ask the audience. I would love to ask my network, what are the qualities to achieve what is known as master teacher status, right? Because some people may say, oh, you know, I know one thing that you can't do is you can't personally appoint yourself master teacher, right? That's something that you cannot do. That's not the qualifications. That's not how that shit works. You just can't self-anoint yourself. There's people that try to do that in this community where they were self-anointing themselves, all of these titles and things of that nature. And that shit never panned out. That never panned out. It didn't work out. So let me know from your perspective, right? From the people's perspective, right? From the audience's perspective, because I would love to say that I have quality of membership. I know that every single one of the fam that's out there, that's in the audience, quality of membership. Y'all know what y'all talking about. Y'all been tapped in for a very long time. You know, you have an art of discernment. You know who's fugazi and who's not. So that's a question that I would beckon somebody to give me a good answer to. And if you don't know, just say it, and it's all good. But if you can't use your magic, you're not a master. I like that. If you can't use your magic, you're not a master. Now, what's the qualifications about using your magic and how does that show up? Right? Is the magic just teaching, or is it sometimes you have to bend the elements? You got to do some real magical stuff. I would love to know that as well. Is magic just being tapped in? Do you have to show and prove? Do you need receipts that you could bring the starships out and whatnot? Do you have to have 3 or more witnesses? What is magic? What is that? What is the magic that you speak of? God body, great blackness. And that's just to further the question, because we don't want to generalize, because if we generalize and there's loops in that, you know what I mean? There's ways for people to wiggle out. I want to be a little more specific. All of the above. Action speaks louder than words, right? This is the age of experience. This is not the age of information. This is the age of knowing, right? This is the age of knowing. So the magic is to manifest, okay? This is the age of knowing. You either know you the shit or you don't know that you the shit. You know what I mean? There's no second guessing it right now. Either you know that you God or you still figuring it out. And it's okay to be like, I'm still figuring it out. But for the master teachers that are in front of millions of people, thousands of people, hundreds of people, if you want to be bestowed with that lofty title, because that's a title that will stay for you for life, it's almost like being a college professor and you get the emeritus or what is that called? The EMERITUS, right? You know, you get your tenure and whatnot. So we have to definitely protect these titles and whatnot. Not that it means that much, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's not the end all be all and all of that fly shit. But yeah, I did live through a time where that title was being very much abused and passed around, you know, like a cheap thotty and whatnot. So we wanna get that back. We want to get back the value of that title. So when it's bestowed amongst our brethrens and whatnot in these networks, is respected. Yeah, no rush. Your magic should change not only your life but others. We manifest for the collective. Okay, that's what's up. Generator, operator, destroyer, God. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we want to do this, right? We want to bring on um a smith, right? You know, you have smiths in life. You have goldsmiths, blacksmiths, wordsmiths, swordsmiths. This brother right here is he's a smith, right? He is what I would call a, um a horologist, right? He's a master jeweler, okay? But he does other things. You know, he's not just a one trick pony. And one thing that I never want to do is put anybody in a box, because that's another thing. We live in a day and age where our brothers and sisters who have activated their God bodies, who have activated their Godhead, who have activated their quote unquote purpose and whatnot, they're not just here to do one thing. You're not relegated to just do one thing. You could do however much you can handle, however much you are sent here to handle and whatnot. However many plates that you can eat that's on the table, sometimes some of us can handle that, right? And if we can't, there's ways that will show us that we cannot. We should just buckle down and focus on one thing. But I'm not going to talk your heads off. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to welcome our guest for the night, our good brother, brother broadcasting live from Brazil. All right. Our good brother who will be doing the workshop this Sunday with me, dealing with the precious metals, none other than the horologist in Cairo. Peace.
All right, God, what's happening? How you doing?
All is well. All is well. You know, I'm going to put you on the spot, right?
What's happening?
First of all, what kind of smith would you identify yourself as?
Oh man, Silversmith.
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 I like the silversmith. That's a
Yeah,
good one.
yeah, that's the
And the
basic.
second question,
Yeah.
in your humble opinion, what would you say, based off of your observation, would make one in this community or these networks considered to be a master teacher?
I would say mastering self, to a certain degree. You
Right.
know, I definitely would say mastering self to a certain degree.
Right.
Yes. And that should blossom, you know, throughout. It should show on your life. It should just be like a natural thing, your lifestyle, the way your being,
Right.
whether whatever mastering specializing in.
Definitely. Definitely. I agree. You know,
Yeah.
I agree. Coming off of this fast, you know, shout out to everybody with the God Body Challenge fast.
Hmm.
Yesterday was my last day. You know, I just told my wife earlier that I feel like starting it back up again this weekend or this week, the strong end coming up, leading up to Sunday. I'm contemplating beginning it on a Thursday and whatnot, and just doing it again because the way that
Hmm.
I felt my body reacting to, you know, the restriction and, you know, just basically shutting things down, it was exhilarating, right? But it was highly exhausting at the same things.
Yeah.
Um, on Sunday, I linked up with Blue Pillar, and we linked up with our good sister Queen Yashonda, and she has her own event called Revolutionary Healing. We linked up at Piedmont Park, and she did like a scavenger hunt. And in
Yeah.
the scavenger hunt, there were a lot of different things to do in the hunt.
Hmm.
Like they had us hugging trees. We had to sing in front of strangers. We had to
Yeah.
reenact a scene from a black movie and stuff like that. So by the time I knocked out all of those events, woo, I was whoo. I started getting hot flashes, like, you know what I mean? I started feeling very lightheaded. So I drank me some water, and then my wife
Hmm.
was like, "Yeah, we're gonna get you some Ethiopian food. It's you've done great,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But it's time to wind it down."
yeah,
So,
yeah. I heard you say that. I miss that Ethiopian food.
man, they don't got that
Yeah.
where you at?
Nah, it's in Sao Paulo. In Rio, they don't have. They have a couple African restaurants, but no Ethiopian.
You need to go get that, brother. You know what I'm talking
Yeah, I
about?
missed that. That was one of my favorites right there.
So, yeah, so the discipline that it takes, to master self, master your thoughts. I wasn't sleeping for those 3 days either. I might have not the way that I'm used to sleeping. Like I could
Sure.
will myself to sleep. Like I was going to sleep mad early, and I'm like, yo, I'm tapping out because I'm feeling wild tired during
Yeah.
the day and whatnot. Even when we did the lecture, I had to do it in the dark because Akibalon was dropping so many heavy gems
Hmm.
with this big ring light on me, with the computer Blu-ray, all of this shit on me, and it's like I'm more open now because I'm fasting
Yeah.
and I can feel all that shit.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Somebody said, "Am I still hugging trees?" Yes, that's a new practice of mine. I apologized to the tree huggers the other day
To this day,
because I
to
used
this
to
day.
I used to goofy smack the tree huggers. I had jokes with the tree huggers. And then my research, I should have known better because my research already pointed that out years ago. However, sometimes you be in your bag and whatnot. But some of the more recent research that I was doing in preparation for this lecture, right? It
Hmm.
was talking about a tree
Mm.
will charge you up, right? The same way that hugging a human being can charge you up. Do you know that there are professional huggers that get a
Yeah.
lot of money off of Craigslist, Groupon, and other things by going around hugging people? And they make it a black or white thing online and they try to politicize it and they try to hug shame them and whatnot. But that's really a profession.
Yeah.
Yes, and even with animals and whatnot, if you hug an animal and the animal's vibration or the voltage of that animal or the electric charge of that animal is higher than yours, you will begin to acquiesce and it will make you feel better. So the same thing goes with these trees that are very much alive, very electromagnetic and whatnot.
Yeah.
They're connected to the root, they're connected to the ground, so by hugging a tree, you can offset negative energy and the tree will absorb that. Did you know that, guys? Do you
Oh
know?
yeah.
So
Oh
we
yeah.
gotta be careful talking about tree huggers. You could get ether. The rebuttal could be brutal. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to help people to keep their
Yeah.
PKs on and whatnot. Because if you come at the wrong person with ignorance, they could shrink you with intelligence and some wise words. So I don't want to encourage anybody that's listening to me to move ignorant and to ridicule or to even make fun of people who are doing things that are beneficial for their health. We could pick other targets, soft targets, of course, low hanging fruit, but we're going to leave the tree huggers alone.
Yeah. That's some good energy. Do a lot of tree huggings. A lot of tree huggers out here in Brazil.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. A lot of tree huggers.
I can imagine. I remember climbing trees in St. Croix and walking
Mhm.
around barefoot, and they because they were being westernized. This was in the early '80s. They were
Mhm.
trying to clown us.
Yeah. 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 You get that.
Now, because I came from the States with sneakers, and then when I got to St. Croix, it was an issue about the quality of sneakers that they had. So, they was looking at us going barefoot, like, why y'all barefoot? Y'all came with sneakers. We like,
Mm.
fam, we were in the concrete jungle, my G. We couldn't go barefoot.
Yeah.
So here you go. Y'all are looking at the states as an aspiration to go and do what? To be in the concrete jungles and to grind for these dead presidents when you had more of a simple life on your island where you was at, where you was already set up to be very strong, very healthy, very electric.
Yeah.
And then you come over here with Four Seasons in New York and whatnot. You eating processed foods. You drinking tap water, my nigga. There's no ocean. You don't have no vitamin D. And then you wonder why people are getting all of these ailments. And then you got granny and shit living to be a $130 and whatnot. But then the children got cancer. You feel me? The first
Yeah.
generations got cancer. They dying off at an early age. And the
Yeah.
great grandmother and the grandmothers is outliving them. Why is
Yeah.
that? Because they still have that charge in their batteries from standing in the dirt. Even if they was picking cotton, my nigga, they was in the sun from sun up to sundown, absorbing all of that vitamin fucking D. Pardon my friend. I'm just getting a little
getting charged.
I'm getting exuberant right now. They're getting vitamin D. They were eating farm raised food, right? They was not eating food out of a can. They were not eating infected animals like that. They were in the ocean and whatnot. They would wash up their clothes and move in water. That's negative ions. You know what I mean? That's a charged up ionosphere. Some of them was sleeping outside.
Yeah.
I remember when I went camping and whatnot, and I slept on the ground. You know, I had a tent in a sleeping bag, but like just putting my arm on the ground and whatnot, I could feel the charge.
Yeah. So that's the best sleep right there. Whew. Outside, man.
We're trained to be like, that's mad vagabondish. You next to being homeless. You a failure if you sleep on the ground. So they got us good, man. Whoever programmed this batch of us, man, they got us good, bro. They reversed everything.
No doubt about it. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about some precious metals real quick, my good brother.
Yeah, I was looking at. Go ahead. What you say?
I said, how's everything going on in that market?
Everything is good. I was looking at one report from SD Bullion today, and he was sitting in his vault, and the lady asked me, "said How much gold is that behind you?" He said, "About in price rise like 250 million." And so, you know, he was giving a whole breakdown on the coins. So he was saying the American, I think the Silver Eagles are like $13 over market, over spot price.
Wow.
And yeah, so it's like it's the highest it's been. And so the demand, so she was asking them, you know, how's the demand for the precious metals? He said it's at his highest rate that he ever seen.
Hold on.
That yes, it did. It's at his highest rate.
Right.
And it said it's so many newcomers, you know, into that arena. You know, the numbers is just, you know, every day they're getting dozens and dozens of newcomers coming in. And they said one thing that's happening in Canada.
Yes.
They said that it's a problem. Like you have people coming in buying the kilos and things like, so they transferring 20 and 30 and 40, 50,000 or whatever. And the banks slowing the process up of them transferring the money out of their account. And it's something that he never seen before. They've been in business for 8 years and it's normally no problem. He said, but it's specifically happening in Canada, you know? So, you know, yeah. So they don't want them. So a lot of people are starting pushing their money out of their accounts and going heavily into, you know, precious metals.
I mean, it's only right. It's, you know, you don't have to be an owl to see this one. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You don't have to have intuition to know what is about, what's taking place.
Yeah.
You know, when you mentioned the all-time high, I just wanted to say to my network, to the audience, you know, to the membership, that I want to give thanks to every single person who was proactive when the information first got out And now,
Mm-hmm.
you're able to see in real time without speculation. This is beyond speculation because, like I said, this is the age of experience. This is about knowing. You know what I mean? So whoever's out there who knew that they next move would be their best move, I just want to say salute. You know what I'm talking about? Peace and love. But please continue.
Yes. So, the point, he was getting across is that, you know, several major things, the demand is so high. The process is slowing up from people getting money out of their accounts. The bank is getting between their currency coming out of their accounts and going into precious metals. So they have a they monetizing how many people are going into precious metals, and they're trying to slow that process up. And the premium rates are getting higher. And then certain materials such as the 100-ounce silver bars, they're harder to get. So, you got a shortage and things. So all of these things are kicking in, and we're at the beginning of the bull cycle. We have about 3 to 5 years of going through this heightened, this process of, as precious metals rise, and then the demand rise, and as they printing all this money, it's just going to keep driving and driving the demand. But what I wanted to say is that, it's interesting. You was talking about earlier, one thing the family should try to do is this: what I do, look at everything as 1 ounce of silver. Now, I mentioned this before, but it's a great exercise. And you was talking about the job, and you was working construction. I
Yeah,
used to work,
yeah,
yeah,
demolition.
yeah. I used to work construction. I used to be a bricklayer.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I was a bricklayer back in the day, and I
I
was a
know the way.
mason. Yeah, started out as a mason tender, and then a bricklayer. And I remember my brother was in the union. This was back in probably in the 80s, but he was making $18 an hour.
I was
And
big back then.
yeah, it was back then. So I was like,
Mhm.
that was wild. But anyway, silver was about $4 an ounce. So he was, for every hour, he was getting 4 ounces of silver.
Mm.
So relate that to today. You say you was making 25 an hour, 26, right?
Right.
And years ago, whenever you was working, in today's time, that's 1 ounce of silver. You know,
Just working for 1 shilling.
you're working for 1 ounce of silver, for an hour. So my point is, it's not the 1 ounce of silver is still 1 ounce of silver.
Yeah.
That's never changed.
Add up
But the
the
price
price.
is
Right.
changing. Exactly. So
Yeah,
the dollar is really shrinking.
facts.
So, just so let's imagine, if he had that formula and I had that formula back then, you're immune to inflation, when you take this seat with precious metals. But it's a good exercise to equate things. So when I spend currency and I'm shopping or whatever I'm doing, it's like, okay, that cost me an ounce of silver. That cost me 2 ounces of silver. And what's happening is you begin to transfer your thought process of understanding real money at a dollar base,
Right.
because you can see what you're missing. It's like, wow, I could have brought 5 ounces of silver. I could have brought 10 ounces of silver. you know so it's just an excellent exercise to kind of transfer thinking about a dollar. You're thinking about an ounces of silver, and what it's doing is conditioning your mind to understand real money. And that's where we're going to be going into the class, because see, the paper dollar is just a medium getting in between our lifestyle, you know You don't need money for this house. You
Right.
know, you don't need money. You just need the raw materials for the house.
Right.
You know, you don't need paper money for the clothes and so on and so on. So we can see how this monetary system keeps getting between, you know, our resources.
Somebody wants to know how much is a good amount to have as a safe haven.
So you know the key is you build your foundation. I would just say this: if you don't have, you need at least 100 ounces of silver, and that's going to start your basic base. You know, I would just say if you don't have 100 ounces of silver, you really shouldn't be speculating in any of these other endeavors, you know, until you get that covered, because that's your foundation. And gold, a few ounces of gold, 3, 4 ounces of gold, maybe a few ounces of platinum. But the key is you don't stop. That's just a base. So you can say, okay, I have a basic foundation. Okay. And what you should look at is your living expenses for 1 month. So you should have 6 months in value of precious metals for your living expenses. So if your living expenses is $2,000, you know, you should have at least, you know, 12, 13, 14,000 liquid and precious metals, you know.
That's a
So
good
that,
formula right there.
yeah, so that's how, yes, that's how you can, you know, I would say 6 months is, now you're going towards it. You can speculate a little bit, but you want to keep accumulating because you want to get the whole concept is how far you can get ahead. You know, it's either 1 year, 5 years, and that's how I rate myself. So I'm at points, I'm 10 plus
Right.
of my of my living expenses, and that's where you want to be because you want to have that cushion and you want to have that foundation. It's like, okay, no matter what, if I need to set out for a year and just focus on one thing and really get my head together, or my mind and my soul, whatever, you can go ahead and do that. It's basically what you're doing is buying your freedom.
Somebody want to know, where will we keep this for safekeeping, on our persons or defend deposit?
Sure, I would say you want to keep with you. You want to make some provisions, a safe, of course. You want to make some other provisions of jewelry. You want to make some other provisions of sharing it with your family. You know, you may have, so you want to spread it out a little bit. You may have some over there, mama house or whatever, your house, you know, and then if you have kids, you want to spread it out a little bit in jewelry and coins. So that way, you know, and then you can insure it, you know, but if you want to bury it or whatever, that's fine too. But you want to be able to get to it,
Right.
where as though it's not locked up in some facility, you know.
Right.
I would say the only reason why you want to have it locked up, like ST Bullion has a storage house. The only reason you want to have it in some kind of storage house, if you want to create a bank situation where as though you want to start pulling loans, so you can say, okay, I have a kilo to go ST Bullion. So they're going to put that in dollar form.
Right.
So you have a kilo and it's worth $60,000. You can pull from that anytime. You can call them, wire me 15,000, wire me 20,000. So you can go in and do a speculation, you know, and stuff like that, and then you can send it back, you know. But so you be loaning against your own foundation, but you're gonna pay a storage fee, you know.
Storage fee.
Yeah, you're gonna pay a storage monthly fee.
Yeah, same thing like just putting some in storage, right?
Yeah, it's put some in storage, but again, you really want to keep it balanced out, because a lot of people ask that question. We're going to address that in the class, but you have to get creative and you have to get past this fear of thinking that, okay, because you're holding precious metals,
Right.
this kind of energy is going to come to you. So we're going to talk about how to create some different energy balances and things of that nature, because I do a lot of things. Yes.
They want to know, can you have insurance on physical precious metals while it's active on the market?
um I'm not sure, so that would be it. It's NST booty. It has to be in the physical form in order for you to have some kind of insurance on it.
Right.
So if it's on the market, that's mean it's in a digital form. But in the class, we're going to talk about how you can have it in the market and doing your business.
Oh, okay. Dope. Somebody else wants to know, what does he think of pool accounts, meaning the accounts that the metal company has for you to invest in the metal without them shipping it? It's in a ledger account.
For me, I don't advise that, because, again, you got to ask yourself, how much physical metal do I have? And if you don't have any, or you have very, very little of it in the jewelry you have, that is the first thing you need to start working on. You need to strip everything else, put that aside, and get your foundation right. So having someone else hold it and all of that, you're still inside the monetary system. What we're talking about here is two things: coming outside of the monetary system, and then how you can use that metal in your business, in your passion, in your art,
Right.
to accumulate other streams of income, how you can use that to increase your health, your wealth, and your prosperity. See, that's what they're not talking about on these other channels. They talk about the stacking, and then just the financial vehicle
Right.
of a safe haven,
Right. So you're tapping into the health and the wealth aspects of these assets, you're saying.
Yes,
And also the metaphysics of it.
and the metaphysics and the application. For one example, so you take the processor in this computer that we're on right now, the top computer, or just say your top basic computer, probably about 10, 20,000, just say the real top one.
Yes.
It has a processor chip in it,
Right.
the Pentium processor. So the highest Pentium processor chip right now is about 5 grams of 24 karat gold. So if you went to scrap it, they can pull that off of it. So what we're talking about in the class is like, okay, that's there for a reason. So now where's the people that's the tech people, the hardware, the geeks, the computer geeks, and tap into that and say, okay, here's 1 ounce of silver. What can you do with creating a processor? Right. So, these are that's just one application. So that's where really what we want to tap into, because see, that's the angle of that's not missing. Everyone is on this, the dollar amount, the dollar amount, the dollar amount.
Right.
And that's fine.
Right.
That's fine, but that's not even 1% of the real understanding, of precious metals. The brother was talking about Anunnaki,
Rod Hayes, shout out to him.
Yeah. So, their whole thing is mining gold. So this what it is. It's an energy. Anunnaki is an energy, you know, and it's an energy of all the central banks hoarding precious metals and not telling you about it, and want to hand you this monetary system and say, take this,
Right.
dive into this. Whereas though
Right. While
they,
they're snatching up all of the precious metals, the oil, the land, real shit, and they're giving you the fiat, the non-tangibles,
yeah, yeah. So it's
water.
yeah, it's the name of the
Real
game
quick
is
though,
resource.
real quick, my brother. We got to go to a commercial, man. We've been
Okay.
talking all of this cloth and whatnot. Family, especially the ones that are asking the questions. It's time for your tickets. Let's go.
Let's
Greetings.
go. There
I'm
you go.
Horologist in Carew. On the behalf of myself and KTL University, we would like to invite you for our online Zoom class, March the 27th, 11 o'clock, 2022. We will present the power of precious metals, where you will have the opportunity to learn the concept of building wealth with gold, silver, platinum, palladium, and rhodium. You will also learn the foundation of the abundantness of these metals through the health benefits, the wealth benefits, and the spirituality benefits. For every 20th person that signs up for this class, you receive this beautiful silver 925 sterling silver pendant that is featured on the front of the book, I Am Rich. The spaces are limited, so act now.
Yes, indeed, family. There you
Beautiful
have it.
commercial. Yes.
Go and snatch up your tickets. Hopefully you become a winner of the prizes that we're giving out, like the necklace or the grand prize, which is the watch. I'm gonna show you the watch real quick. Hold on.
Greetings, family. Inkaru Watch Company would like to present Enter the Win this Inkaru timepiece, the Heru collection, hand painted on a pure silver dial, 42 millimeter stainless steel case, and a Swiss 17 jewel mechanical 2.5 delta waves movement. The 100 person that sign up for our online Zoom class, The Power of Precious Metals, sponsored by KTL University and in Carew, will win this beautiful timepiece. Again, the 100 person that sign up for our class, The Power of Precious Metals, will win this beautiful timepiece.
Show me somebody that's doing that, y'all. I'm just saying, not to compare anything, because comparison is a thief of joy, but just show me where they doing shit like that. KTLUniversity.com for your tickets. KTLUniversity.com for your tickets is right there, and the link is also in the description. I want to shift things a tad bit, my good brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I want to get into horology. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your title is a horologist. Earlier when we came on, I was asking you about, I said, what kind of smith you were, and you were like, you're a silversmith. And the reason why I didn't want to define you is because I didn't want to put you in a bag to whereas you're just doing one thing. Can you explain to my audience what a horologist is, please?
The horologist is a person that studies time. The science, horology means the science of time measurement. And through the fact of horologists of creating a watch or repairing a watch, or repairing a clock or creating a clock. So that's a couple of the aspects that I channel through. So I create unique, one-of-a-kind timepieces. I study the science of time. I'm a student of time. It's a very, very interesting field because as I grew in it, I really started to dive deep, because just like anything else, it's I would say more of a ritual that is in this kind of game. So, for example, horologists normally pass down to generations. Normally, like my father's an auto mechanic. He is passed now. Yes, but he was that's a watchmaker in some aspect.
Right,
But it's
right.
normal. Go ahead.
Gears. No, he's tapped into the moving parts and the gears.
Yeah, the science of it. So, but it's normally passed down to generations, third generations, fourth generations. It's very small schools. It's normally coming out of Switzerland. But Horus, the study of the
Right.
sun. Yes. This is our thing, and is very interesting. When I started to dive in, my second book, and I mention it in the book I Am Rich, is called it's coming out probably in another 4 or 5 months. It's called God is a Horologist.
Mm,
Yes,
I like that.
yes. So basically, is like this: you pose the question, what can you do in the physical form without time? And when you pose that question, it's nothing you can do in the physical form without time. So time is a universal law that governs this third dimension.
Right.
So the energy, our higher self that created this third dimension is a horologist.
Right.
The human body is a timepiece, and what rations time is one extreme to the next.
Mm,
It's a event of the it's a display of events. So it's
right.
one process to the next process. So as a person matures, as a baby crawls, as a baby walks, as the tree grow, So what happens, and I said this before, with gold, it challenges the essence of time in the physical form to the highest degree.
Explain that, please.
So basically, precious gold in its purest form does not tarnish, it does not rust. So when you're looking at measuring time, you're looking at Asian factors. One of the Asian factors is tarnishing,
Decay.
rusting. Yes,
Right.
it's a process of aging, and
Right.
yes. So tarnishing and rusting speaks volume to aging. And when you find something that resists that, that is the closest mechanism to creation. Yes, that's the closest mechanism to creation. So this is how I started to bridge the gap between studying horology and precious metals. It's all in the same family, because I look at everything as a timepiece. And the years that I spent without a cell phone, I'll just go into this. So I found some magical powers that I tapped into. So one way of magnifying time is just like you looking through a magnifying glass that's going to magnify something 10 times. So if I looked at my hand and I would magnify it 10 times, and I would go into that meditation of looking at my hand. And when I come out of that, I will be amazed of all the things, all the details that's in my hand. So I would look at my hand in a whole nother perspective. So when you look at and magnify time, you have to listen to it. So this timepiece that I have on is beating 8 times a second. It's a 4-point hertz movement. So 1 hertz beats twice within a second. So this is 4 hertz. It's beating 8 times in a second. So I would listen to this over a period of 5 minutes or whatever, 2 minutes. After a while, I would catch the rhythm. So I would count the beats in my head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you'll hear the ticking. After a minute or two, the ticking will begin to subdue because you have caught the rhythm, so you caught the details within a second. So that 8 beats will begin to subdue and begin to get slower and slower. The more you able, so you magnifying it, and you get so in harmony with it that you get into you get between the details of time. So now, when you come out of that, this is the experience that I was having when I didn't have a cell phone. So I would do all of these crazy tests with time. So a person, I would be sitting there talking to. So let me tell you what happens when that happens. So anyway, when you go into that detail and you come out of it, you just went into the subconscious. So when I'm wearing this watch and I put it on, my body subconsciously picks it up and say something is happening. Oh, he's beating 8 times a second. Okay, I'm on it. When you consciously go into that, your subconscious and your conscious meet. That's the explosion. Okay? So when you practice that exercise, you're able to slow down time. So I would sit and talk to people, and they would be in a restaurant, in a bar. So a person would go into their phone. So when they go into their phone, they go into a 2-dimension. When they come back out of the phone, I'm sitting there talking to them. They're coming back in the 3rd dimension. I go into 8 beats a second, sitting there watching them with deep breathing. When they come out, they appear slower, and I hear their thoughts before they even say it. This was so it's a lot of magical powers I had tapped into as studying time and studying horology. I'm going to embark on that into the class and give some exercises, demonstrating exercises, the one I just did. So that would help people with their meditation, because when I'm making the watch, I'm in the form of a meditation.
Yeah, that's fire right there. That's some, you out here hacking the goddamn timeline with that.
Yes, sir.
But
magnifying time. Yes.
Right, but it's a level of mastery. I could definitely relate to,
Yes.
But that's a formula that one can have a monumental breakthroughs with. How many years did you go without a cell phone?
I went from, I was in New York from 12, 13, 14 with no cell phone up to 15. And then I came back to Baltimore and I had a cell phone for 3 months. And then I got rid of it. I went through 15 and 19. So it's approximately 6, 7 years.
Wow.
6, 7 years. Yeah. I had a landline and then a computer and a tablet.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
With my cell phone addiction, that's like shit. I'm gonna have to do that though one day. I'm gonna have to go completely cold turkey, like no phone at all. And I'm trying to figure out how that's gonna even happen, but it needs to happen because
yeah. So a lot of times when I leave out now, I don't carry my cell phone. It's very rare,
right,
that I carry it because I'm so used to it. So I take care of my business. When I hit the door, boom, I hit the door. If I have to meet someone, I'm on point, and I go back to the old timing,
Right.
And
it is like,
mm-hmm.
It's doable. It's definitely doable. And even when I did this week fast, like because I was promoting the lecture, I had to focus on the phone a little bit, but I was able to put it down and forget it. I was playing jazz music from the phone, so it
Yes.
didn't, I was able to offset any type of negative frequencies with the music. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there. It's something that I'm gonna do for myself to master. At least go about I don't know how long it's gonna be, but there's gonna be a complete phone detox when I go off grid. So when I fast and when I really go deep within, I don't have no distractions because people, that is the distraction. That phone is part of it's like it is the 800-pound gorilla in my room. I can't speak for nobody else, but it's the distraction in my room.
Yeah, yeah. It's um it's we have to do these things because see, the times we in, that's one of the ways we can really take control, you know, of our thoughts, our process, our habits, so we have to challenge ourselves with these different things that it's addictive, you know. It's a
There's a huge
drug.
addiction to it. Yeah, there's a huge addiction curve to it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a drug. So, my journey on in horology is very interesting. And I want to share one thing I did share with Blue.
Yes.
Um, the speed of the sun. And this came to me in 2018, 17, somewhere around some, yeah. The speed came to me. The motion came to me a little bit before, but the speed is so simple. It was mind blowing. I was coming back from Israel in 2018. I was on the plane, and on the plane they have the monitor, and they'll show the sun moving,
Yeah.
and then they'll show the plane moving. So I was like, wow, the plane is moving about 600 miles an hour. And it freaked me out. I said, wait a minute, what the fuck is going on here? And then it started clicking. I said, okay, I'm in New York. Red is in LA. We know LA is 3 hours behind.
Right.
The sun comes around, say 6 o'clock in the morning, New York.
Right.
Boom, it rises. I call Red up. Red, what's going on? Man, it's still dark outside. What do you mean? No, we don't get our sun. The sun don't rise till 9 o'clock.
Right.
So the sun is traveling so all you're doing is using your senses. So by observation, experimentation, and evaluation. No books, only nature. So you're evaluating the sun moving across the sky because that's what your senses are telling you it's doing. So it's 3 hours ahead. New York is 3 hours ahead. All you do is measure the distance. It's 2,700 miles from New York to LA.
Right.
You divide that by 3, it gives you 915 miles per hour. That's how fast the sun is traveling. It takes the sun 3 hours to get there.
Right.
It's so elementary, but we was taught something else. So we was programmed something else.
Right.
So you got to challenge yourself, and it's going to keep challenging you and say, no, that's not correct. It is correct because I just proved it, and an 8-year-old child can understand it.
Right.
So now I'm really teaching. And that's the level that we have to be on. We have to be on a level of we have to prove it, and we have to prove it through Mother Nature.
Facts.
All right, we have to prove it through Mother Nature. I get one more. I asked the sun, grounding one day, what's your motion? And when the download came, it came about a minute or two later, and it said, go look over the tree stump. When I look at the tree stump,
it had the circle lines in it. And it said, I put those circle lines in it, and that's the motion that I travel over top of the earth.
Mm.
And that's it. I move in and out. I move to the center of the earth. I move to the back, to the edge of the earth as I'm traveling around.
Right.
Other words, those lines cannot be there.
Mm.
And that's it. So
That's it.
Observation, experimentation, evaluation. So I proved it through Mother Nature. So you have to, if someone wanted to challenge it, so I can learn more, they have to prove it through Mother Nature.
Right, exactly.
Yes. And that's horology. That's what, but they're not teaching that in horology. So I'm an outcast in horology, even though I wrote curriculums. Right now, to this day, when I introduced the curriculum at Benjamin Banneker School in 2011, I did a curriculum with. I introduced the curriculum to the school, and Torno came. Torno is the biggest watch distributor. Okay.
Right.
They collaborated with me, and then they did what they do. They do what they do. You know, they snatched the program.
Right.
Discredited me and got me put out of the school.
Wow. Are you serious?
So what happened is Benjamin Banneker came to me and said, look, you did your job. I wanted you to go there, introduce the kids to the program.
Right.
To get the program going. Your job is done. And that was my job. To this day, they still run that program with the kids. So when they got me put out to school, they discredited me and said, Mr. Richardson don't have any
qualifications.
Any certificates from a horology school. So when I sat down with Miss Muhammad, the principal at the time at Benjamin Banneker School, mind you, and she said, you know, you can't stay here, blah, 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 blah. So I said, okay, I understand. I said, let me ask you one question. I said, what credentials did Benjamin Banneker have? What school did he graduate from?
That part.
There you go. No school. So it was self-taught, self-mastery, but not self, is collective from studying. So Banneker was born in Baltimore, okay? Ellicott City, okay? So when he transferred out in the late 1700s, when I came in 69, I downloaded him. Mm-hmm. I'm a living embodiment of Banneker. Because I'm right there on that grid line and Mason-Dixon line. And what happens when we decide to come back, we come right back, you know?
To the grid that we come from. That's what Rod Hayes was talking about, that you could die in China, you could die in Africa, but when you return and come back, you are going to come back right to the point in which you were always.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that's my heaviness in horology.
To this day.
That's my heaviness. So in horology, in the industry, IW magazine, I had write-ups, a lot of them. I am respected and feared in that industry by the heaviest people in that industry. You know, by big players. You know, Antiquarium Auction House is the world leading watch auction house. They came to Benjamin Banneker School. I invited them. Right. I got receipts from all of this because I had write-ups in Daily News, New York Times, and other magazines and other newspapers. So
fire.
All right. I ain't mean to go so heavy, but you know, you open it up.
I mean, look, did what you had to do. You know what I mean? For the family that's out there, once again, you know, this information will be taught to you in a curriculum, in a workshop form. This is going to be given to you. You're going to get steps. You're going to get what you would be paying $1,000 and more for if anywhere else.
Absolutely.
Like I say all the time,
Yes, sir.
Facebook is waiting for you. Google and Instagram. If you TikTok as well now. If you want to get this information, if you want to take the shortcut, go and find it. You know, go and pick it up and bring it to me as well. I want to see it too. But
Yeah.
what I do know is that we have it available for the fam. Once again, like I say, you don't want to be the smartest person in the room, but when you open your mouth in any room that you be in, you want the smartest people to put their head on swivel and be like, who the fuck is that? Because they know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? They know what they know what the hell is going on, you know, and anybody who's the smartest person in the room could tell by 3 sentences if you're knowledgeable or not. Knowledge is power, knowledge is wealth. The application of it is even more powerful.
That's it.
So, you know, when we bring people amongst us who are here, this brother is making a pit stop. He has a lot of things on his plate. I don't know the next time that you'll see him again or when he'll be back. So he's here to deliver this workshop. We've been building this up for over a month. I want to give a humongous, big shout out to everybody who has been snatching up these tickets. I didn't even mention that when you buy a ticket, it comes in a bundle, and in that bundle is the free ebook I Am Rich that this brother authored. All right, there's an ebook called I Am Rich, and it's also a 4-hour lecture / workshop called Dropping Gems, where this brother is one of the openers, and that also comes with it. So we are incentivizing all of our ticket holders and taking care of them. You receive that before the lecture, so you become familiar with what it is that you'll be hearing on Sunday and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? And KTL University is where you'll be able to get your ticket. So can you leave the fam, or do you have any parting words or anything that you want to leave the audience with before we tap out for the night?
Absolutely. So it basically, you know, the class is gonna be focused on precious metals. We're gonna touch on the essence of time, but after we lay this foundation and precious metals, you know, that's gonna be there. And I think Red and I sat down, and if when we start to come back with another class from me, it will be a full class on horology.
Yes.
You know, so that's the setup. So you got a little tease tonight of horology, but the whole idea, family, is the reason why the book is so short. I got an email from a gentleman today, and you know, I'm a watchmaker, so I took 70, 80 pages and put it into 8 to 9 pages. And we at the stage right now, we have to apply. That's why it's written like that, because we have to move forward and apply this information and not be information junkies, you know, and have time to sit around. There's a lot of great books out there, 100 pages, 200 pages, I'm not knocking that. You know, but this is my contribution of what I see and how I'm bringing something to the table to say, okay, this will help. So let me shorten it. Let me bring it. You can get right to it, and we can start applying it. So I appreciate you, Red, opening the line up, and you know, the class. Oh, shout out to the 2 winners, Yolanda and Marcus.
Salute to y'all. Bling bling.
Yeah, bling for the pendant.
Bling bling.
So we getting close to number 3, maybe up to number 4. So
yeah, they come in. You know, on Thursday's show when the link didn't work.
Yeah.
That was those 3. That was number 60 and 80 right there. Because I promise you.
Yes.
There were so many people running to this website. They crashed it. I had to wait till the morning to call the people. They like, oh yeah, the thing went down. So, you know, that's why we're here tonight to repeat. You know, go to the site. Everything is good. You Gucci. You don't got it's Geechee. You don't got nothing to worry about. Go get your free
Yes.
necklace. Go get your ebook. Go get your download, your workshop, dropping gems, and then get ready for class. Bring your notebooks. Put some jewelry on while you watching us. You know what I'm saying? This is also about visualize. Envision you dripping like Mr. T. Like envision you getting to the bag, diving in some coins like Scrooge McDuck. You know what I mean? Like this can happen, but it would be better if it would happen collectively, versus individually and whatnot. um
Yes.
Not to say that collectively people will be holding your coins and whatnot, but if we move as a collective, and put our minds together, we can achieve more.
Yes. Yes. So appreciate it. Any questions before I get out?
Any questions in the chat before we get up out of here? I want to give y'all the opportunity to get any questions answered while we have this good brother in the house tonight. So don't be shy. You know what I mean? Ask your questions and fire it off.
Yes, sir. All right.
It's a little delay, so we're going to wait for it.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Somebody said that the watch that you make is better than a Rolly.
It's I haven't been around that long. It's 20 years. 22 years of watchmaking. So it rivals the Rolly. It has the same perpetual movements and then manual wind, all mechanical, but it's all about, your preference, but the energy with it is magical. And I have magical, when you receive this timepiece, the energy. I have clients that own 5 and 6, 7 of my timepieces. They say every time they wear it, they get so much. People are always asking about it, and they enjoy wearing it. So it's a one of a kind. It's unique. It's limited, so it's not mass produced.
Somebody wants to know, can this apply to those in the UK, the Mondem across the pond? Yeah, the brothers in Brazil. This is global. It don't matter where you at. What you talking about?
Yeah, I just shipped a book to someone in UK. They've been buying books in UK and all over the place. So, this is going to be magical. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not in China, my friend. You in the UK. I took a plane over there. It's not that far. It's far, but it ain't that far. So shout out to the Mondem in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The brubs out there in the UK. We see you. Pull up. Pull up to the class. This is not just a FBA American ting a ting. You know what I mean? This is a global conversation, especially if you on the continent and you got access to them damn mines and shit like that. And there's breakthroughs that can happen. We went to Arizona and made mad breakthroughs happen. Mm-hmm. I have full faith in the fact that, that's why I went back to the collective, even though, to be honest with you, an individual could kick down doors at the gym show and in other places. But when we pulled up collectively, they were acquiescent to our desires. You know what I mean? Doors were flying open. Yes. They couldn't tell us no, you know what I'm saying? Like they was moving, because we was moving like a unit and they were responding to that positively. So I know the power of Voltron.
Yeah.
Where could we get a watch? Somebody wants to know, where could we get a watch?
NKirugroup.com. NKIRU group.com.
NK group.
Yeah. .com. You go there. We have collection there. You can send me a email. I have other pieces that's not up there. So I'm making right now about this year. I probably round up to about 20, 25 timepieces. This year.
Right.
Constantly working. I posted a piece, Anubis piece today that I was working on.
Anubis piece?
Anubis piece. Check it out. Ooh. Go
That's
to I
fire.
Am Rich. If you want to see more to watch, just go to iamrich.nyc. And I posted a 18 karat gold Anubis piece case, the dollars gold as well. And
That's fire.
yeah, so we we
18
we we're
karat gold
turning out.
Anubis.
Yeah,
Huh?
that newest piece is fire.
I can
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah, that newest piece. The guy, he's out of Virginia. He owns a African art store, jewelry store. Brother Brett, so this business, is a lot of fun, man. It takes time. We're working on this piece for about 2 months now. I'll be wrapping it up about another 2 weeks, you know. So
Dope.
send me if you want a custom timepiece, send a request, It's not too much to get into. You can start out with a silver one. It's not a lot,
Right.
to get into
It
the
up. You know
start.
what I mean?
Yeah, starter base maybe like 5,000.
Right. So there you have it. The brother is available to make things happen. The brother is an asset to this network, to this community, to the members and the students out there. Brother has applicable knowledge, with just not just the timepieces, but how to utilize precious metals to protect yourself in this great reset. You know what I mean? How to build confidence by building
Yeah,
up your collection of your metals. So when you do hear about the markets and the unstableness of the markets, along with fiat or the US dollars or the provocations that other superpowers are utilizing against the American dollar, you
yeah,
or the petrodollar, you won't have any type of anxiety. You would actually get a little excited, right? You would
yes,
actually get a little excited because you would realize that you are now in possession of the countermeasure or the solution. That is very, very important, especially for a peoples who just came out of 2 years of nonstop fear, stress related fear, inundated by uncertainties and all kind of things. There's not a lot that people can take on their mental health or on their auras when they're dealing with a bombardment of issues. Now gas is high, bread is high, you know what I'm saying? Rent is high, all of these things. And if you're not prepared to let that roll off your back and whatnot, you could fall into a place of high anxiety, high blood pressure, all of these things that'll rob you of your natural voltage and make your electrified body,
yeah,
non-electric. So let's get these metals on us. You know what I
yes,
mean? Let's stop
indeed.
playing games. Let's get these precious metals. Let's get this crystal currency. Let's
Yes,
wrap these
indeed.
crystals in these metals. Let's understand the science and the metaphysics behind it. Let's get in this sun during this new year when the sun is out kissing us. Let's ground into the dirt and whatnot. Let's get into the ocean. You dig what I'm saying? Let's put some electric foods in our bodies. Let's put some herbs in our bodies. And, let's do what we need to do and stop being stagnant or stop doubting ourselves, because if not us, then who?
Let's do it.
That part. All right. So you want to leave them with something?
Okay. Yeah, it's all great, man. This is like you were saying, while all this is unfolding, when you're in this position and you know that your family
Yeah.
is covered because you've been doing this covering for so many years. It's just a beautiful state, because you reprogram your thought process, you
Fact.
know so you can walk right through the storm, and
Don't get
you
wet.
know and don't get wet, and you can benefit from it, and you can help other people benefit from it. One thing the guy was saying, he said, if the job that you do, if you didn't have to, if you wasn't getting paid for it, and you
Right.
had all the currency that you needed, would you still be doing it? And I had to ask myself that. Yes, I enjoy this. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy learning. And this workshop, I'm learning at the same time. you
Right.
know And that's the key. That's when you ask the master
You've been
teacher.
in school with us too. You know what I mean? You've been
Absolutely.
tapped into to different platforms. The other show that we had Alkebalon and Richie Moon on there.
Absolutely.
So I saw your thinking cap, going off. So we
I'm
are all
using
in
it.
school because I
Yeah.
benefit off of the information whenever I bring on a course and whatnot. I'm getting downloads. I'm learning in real time. The universe, the great divine speaks through signs. So as with almost every single lecture and workshop that I've done, and I got
Yeah.
witnesses, right, which would be not just the audience, but I'm keeping record.
Yeah.
The minute
Tie it
we
all in.
announce the title, it kicks off a series of events that go right in alignment. I've never did a lecture or a workshop or anything on these platforms and it was out of time. Never.
Yeah.
Everything has been on time,
Yeah.
divinely, because I'm sourcing the information not from a book, not from the internet, from
Yeah.
source directly. My intuition is very high and I'm able to tap in. My human design identifies me as a spleen projector, right? And inside of the spleen is where the intuition lies and whatnot. You would think it
Mhm.
was somewhere else, but it's actually from the spleen. So my intuition is up. You know what I mean? I just have to trust it, and I've done that, and it's always worked for me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all great, man. It's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it, and you know, this is how it is. I appreciate, because you gotta understand, Red. I'm stepping back out on the teacher platform. So I
We here
took
for you,
I took time off, but while I was taking time off, I was running all these tests, and I said, okay, the first avenue is going to be the book,
right?
and now we're back into the classes, because the thing is, yes, we have to keep reinventing ourselves, but that was my first book, and I said I want to teach, but I need to do something a little bit different,
Right,
you
right,
know. And that's how we got to keep doing it. We can do the same thing. We got to keep turning that Rubik's cube from different angles.
got to keep tinkering with it. You feel me?
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah,
even with me and my journey. You know what I mean? I'm tinkering with the Rubik's cube because I'm like,
yeah,
I need to get out of my comfort zone.
yeah,
I need to put myself in a new place. You feel me? I need to
yeah.
activate a whole new part of me. This
Hmm.
exuberant. You know what I mean? This what's the word that I use? Enthusiastic about
Enthusiastic.
things. Yeah. So
Yeah,
right now, music and things of that nature, entertainment is beginning to speak to me loudly. I love teaching. That's something that I will always do. It's just
yeah,
that, I want to level up the teaching to a place that it hasn't gone yet. You know what I mean? Like I want
yes.
to raise that bar. And I think that the new name for you, I think we're going to christen you with a new name on Sunday, the 27th, Professor in Cairo. I think that's the new motto. After the class, because
Look,
remember the law. We can't self-anoint ourselves. So after the class, with
after
the
the
visitors
class.
to the building, we finna do a poll and whatnot, and we're gonna throw professor on you. If that coat fits, you finna wear it. You know what I mean? So bring your silver chalice so you can sip from it. Bring your spoon and whatnot, and we'll work it out. Okay.
Yeah, we work it out. That's one of them. I normally have the lab coat on when I'm teaching. I had to send some.
I need you to pull up with the lab coat. It's
I'm gonna
giving
pull up. I'm gonna
me
pull the
mad
lab coat
scientist. I
out.
need you to pull up with the lab coat.
I'm gonna get in uniform.
Please do. Please do. All right.
All right, brother. All right, I
Might
appreciate
see
you.
you again before
Yes,
Sunday.
yes. Let's
I'll
do it
send out the
again.
bat signal and whatnot.
All
If you
right.
if you see it, just pull up and whatnot. You never know what's gonna happen from today to Sunday. These weeks is like roller coaster rides. So
Yeah,
with
yeah.
that being said,
All right.
salute to you. I appreciate you.
Peace.
Keep doing
Likewise.
your thing, man. Keep being great.
All right, brother. Peace, family.
Sure.
Thank you. All right.
Peace. Yeah, man. I had to ask the wife the other day. I'm like, yo, you got that exfoliation kit that we had in Connecticut? She was like, nah, I got to get more of that. I'm like, yeah, because I'm out here doing lives with my good brother in Cairo, and my skin ain't shining like that. I mean, the fast, it helped. It brought back a little bit of the glow, but I'm trying to get the Bruce Leroy on. You know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to get the Bruce Leroy glow. So, yeah, I heard the brother. You know, we're not gonna talk you to death. The play is the precious metals. The play is the precious metals. It's the coins. You know, it is what it is. It is what we said it was. You know what I mean? It's the precious gems. It's the gemstones, and it's also the precious metals that you lay the gemstones in. That's the play. You know what I'm talking about? That's the play. That's how we giving it up. You know what I mean? So we could walk around real heavy in these streets, and we not worried about what these people is doing, because we notice as something rises up, something has to fall. Something has to fall. So, with that being said, I'm gonna allow y'all to go do what y'all gotta do. Check out Black Magic 363, Brother Rich channel. He got Sister Myra on there tonight, going in and whatnot. Tap in with the good brother, and we will see you on Third Eye Thursday. Coming up on Thursday, we will be on Clubhouse on Wednesday. Hold on, let me see. On Clubhouse on Wednesday with our good brother Kaba Kumeni, talking about super sapiens, right? The God body for real. Super sapiens is the name of that episode. Let me try to pull the flyer up so y'all can see it. Make sure y'all join the Discord. Is any of my mods in the building? I don't see little Goddess. Where's little Goddess at? If little Goddess is not here, if Destiny, can you drop the link for our Discord? We have at the 3,000 mark. We passed 3,000. Salute to the winner for the 3,000. I had inboxed them and whatnot. The good brother was able to. He's gonna get a quartz crystal similar to this citrine right here. This is a citrine crystal, but I'm giving him a clear quartz crystal that's been super duper charged up. I brought it back from Arizona. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that's what's up. He was the winner of that. Good brother was the winner of that, the lucky winner of that. So this right here is coming up on Wednesday. You know what I mean? This coming up on Wednesday. Mr. Wednesday. This is free. You know what I mean? This is Clubhouse. You don't have to pay an entry fee. You just pull up 10 p.m. March the 23rd, Wednesday. And the name of the Clubhouse is the Netaverse. All right. We have our own Clubhouse called the Netaverse. You could go on Clubhouse right now and just find that shit and subscribe and become a member. Pardon my French. Shout out to my daughter Bella. She's watching. Hey, Belly. The Netaverse presents The Rise of the Super Sapiens, featuring Professor Kaba Komeni, Red and Blue Pill, Wednesday, March 23rd, 10 p.m. Eastern at Clubhouse. That's going to be
To this day. To this day.
Yeah, aka Booker T. Coleman. You know, he always brings the fire. You know what I'm saying? Always brings the fire. You know what I mean? That's the OG right there. Master teacher, right? Master teacher. This is the Discord. You could go into the chat room and just copy it, or you could take a screenshot and things of that nature, and you'll be good. All right. So I ain't gonna talk y'all to death. I appreciate everybody in the building. Send a Cash App to Stream Chasers with a Z. Send a Cash App. You leave a tip at the table. You know what I'm talking about. You know how us waiters and whatnot. I'm working the barrister. Us waiters, we get paid on tips. You know what I'm saying? So for that plate of food that you ate, you know how they say black women are the best tippers, right? Yeah, that part. Hit the smash button, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, do all of that fly stuff that y'all be doing and whatnot. Hit the Cash App, Stream Chasers with a Z. Go and get your ticket, and I will see y'all. Love and light. Peace to the fam.